Aaron.
Hey, Bookish Babes. Welcome to my book nook.
Stop it. No, for real.
Hey, Bookish Babes. Welcome to my book nook.
Hey, Bookish Babes. I'm putting that in the video. Anyway.
Hello,
Stop.
Bookish Babes. Welcome to the book nook.
Okay. Aaron's about to read ACOTAR, so this is an ACOTAR vlog. There are many spoilers. Deal with it. And action.
We are monsters. We give and we take.
He is about to start ACOTAR. Apparently with a superhero in his lap.
Yes. I have to have a
Okay.
masked Avenger with me just in case.
Okay. What are your thoughts going into this? How are you feeling?
My feelings are I don't read.
We do know that. He has not read a book the whole time we've been together.
So we'll see if my attention span stays consistent.
Okay. Love that for us.
And we've noticed that this book is for Josh. And apparently he will go under mountains.
Okay. Well, that is important to the story. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And stealing from Tolkien.
No.
Yes, stealing from Tolkien.
Okay.
With the old map of Middle Earth.
Okay. But are we gonna get started on the book? What is the book about?
It's about a court of thorns and of roses.
Lincoln, stop.
It's about lots of courts. Some have thorns, some have roses. Some courts are good because they have beautiful red or white, maybe even pink roses.
Okay.
Some courts are not good, right, Lincoln?
Yes, because they don't smell good, and
Yes. They don't smell good, and they have spiky thorns.
Yes, and they can hurt you.
Yeah.
Oh dear Lord. Okay.
But like Brett Michaels always said, though, sometimes every rose has its thorn.
Okay.
Just like every cowboy sings a sad song.
Okay, are we going to start and we'll update in a couple of chapters?
I'm reading one chapter and I will update you on one chapter.
Oh dear God, we're going to be here.
Rainy has given me the reins and I've told her that I'm going to do it the way I want to. So all of my bookish babes out there.
Which is Lincoln, Eloise, and
Yes.
Grandpa, and my grandma.
This is coming to you directly from Lava Lincoln and Daddy Longlegs.
Oh, dear
We will
God.
let you know how chapter 1 ensues.
And how it ensues and how good or bad is bad. Then we're gonna
We're going to read it.
DNF it.
Yeah, we might have to DNF it.
No way.
Chapter 1 has been complete.
Okay. Initial thought.
What have we learned so far? We have learned that this is the Hunger Games, and we are reading about Katniss.
No.
She has a bow and arrow. She is hungry. She is on the hunt. She is on the prowl.
No, you're not talking. Daddy's talking.
No, he's talking. Go ahead, Lincoln.
That it was going good.
Mm-hmm.
To Lava Lincoln and Daddy Longlegs. We liked it. And we'll see how the next chapter goes tomorrow.
Okay, but let Daddy finish. Okay.
So it's getting almost to DNF territory already.
What?
I'm only one chapter in, and
you are not DNFing one chapter in.
And the plot line is just all over the place. Girl, Rainy says it's a girl. I don't know. They haven't specified. Girl is hiding up in a tree. She's hungry. She talks about her sisters and her dad. And she says that basically she wishes their sisters were gone and that she really wishes that her and her dad could start painting their cottage and make like an Airbnb or something of that nature.
I have to see it. You can't spend 5 minutes
think.
let the people decide.
No, Aaron. Take two. Just give us initial thoughts and feelings. Like give us a quick little like hip happening.
The main things that have happened that I'm allowed to talk about is that she was in a tree. She was hunting. It's snowing. She sees a deer. But then she sees a wolf. It's a big wolf. She says the size of a pony. Wolf kills deer. She kills wolf. Shoots it through the eye.
Okay.
Wolf dies. Deer dies. He goes home.
That's it?
Yeah, that's all I'm allowed to say. I'm not allowed to get, my...
Functional.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to tell my thoughts about anything.
You are allowed. You just can't spend 5 minutes.
Well,
Yes.
then this really isn't a thing about how I'm feeling about the book.
Do you feel surprised? Do you feel scared?
Yeah.
Do you feel nervous? Do you feel happy? Do you feel weird or something?
I feel a little weird. What are you feeling?
I'm feeling about this book.
A little surprised?
No, interesting.
A little interesting.
Okay.
I don't really feel like anything's... Well, I mean, I'm only one chapter in. It's not really nothing going on other than the fact that there's big wolves.
Okay, we'll do the next update in a couple of chapters, okay?
No, each chapter.
All right, fine. We will do the next update in the next chapter.
I think people would really... I know that I'm not part of the norm about how everybody else does it, but maybe this is going to break through. And more people are going to be doing these more in-depth things. Right, Lincoln?
Okay, sure. You'll start the movement.
Chapter 2. My wife, Rainy, as you guys may know her, has told me that I have to tell you what I think of the book. Well, it's too early to tell. I'm only on chapter 2.
Okay.
I might not read as fast as some of you people may read. What I have learned... Don't roll your eyes at me.
Okay.
What I have learned is that her name is Farah.
Uh-huh.
Farah is pretty much the breadwinner of the entire family, even though she's the youngest.
Okay.
She has 2 sisters who are pretty much worthless, that are always concerned about themselves and their looks.
Okay.
And they used to be wealthy.
Yeah.
They used to. And then their mother died, and then some people came and busted up their dad's knee.
Okay.
So now he's just kind of like... He just like carves little wooden things.
Okay.
And
we're really getting into the crook of it. Okay. Keep going. Sorry.
But he carves little wooden figures, and he doesn't do anything except for kind of mope around. And the girls just give everyone a hard time. And now, the end of chapter 2, we learned that the sister Nesta wants to get married to some woodcutter's son. Oh, and we also learned that Farah really likes to paint and draw.
Yes. That's importante.
She's into artistry, but she kind of has to put that on the back burner because if she didn't go hunting and stuff like that, they would starve.
Uh-huh.
So that's where I'm at. Alright. So update. It's been a couple days. And I am actually... Where am I at? I've done a little reading to make the wife proud. So I'm actually on chapter 12. I know. So, recap, Lincoln, about what's been going on. Where we left off last time is Farah, or whatever her name is. I can't remember. She shot a wolf and a doe. And she killed them. A big wolf. And she skinned them. And so, the next day she goes to the market. Because she's going to sell the hides. And she ends up selling them to a mercenary lady who pays her a lot for it. As the end of that day, they get back home, a big old creature busts through the door and is yelling at them, saying they're murderers and blah 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 and all that stuff. And
no animal?
Yeah, he's a beast.
A beast?
Yes.
Was he a troll?
No, he wasn't a troll. He was I don't know, some sort of a beast thing with claws and fangs. And
How can an animal talk?
I don't know. And he was saying murder, blah blah blah, and then the sisters and the dad were all cowering, and then Hera said, "I killed it," and she did it with some attitude and everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the beast said, "Okay, well, here's the thing. We can take you outside right now, and I'll just kill you. Or you come back to Perithian, and you live out your rest of your days with me." Ooh.
So should we go outside and he's gonna kill her?
No, so she decides, okay, fine. Because there's some sort of a treaty between the humans and these magical beasts. So she goes back to live with this guy, and she's expecting it to be bad and blah blah blah, but it's lush and tons of food and murals, and she's got new clothes, and they try to put her in a dress, and she said, "I don't want a dress, I want a tunic." So she wears a tunic, and then there's the main guy, his name is Tamlin, and he is
Do you mean Tan Man?
Not Tan Man, but they do talk about his... I don't know why they keep mentioning this. I think this writer has a thing about tanned, calloused forearms. So
he has
10.
he has 10. Yeah, I mean he has forearms and then they're all tan.
And they're tan. So for this segment, we'll call him Tan Man. Okay.
Yes.
So Tan Man is the leader. He is a high fae, and he can shapeshift. And then there's another guy, Lucian, and he's got like a metal eyeball or something, because he's missing an eye, and he's kind of like, I don't know, he's like a right-hand man, but there's also like servants and stuff like that, and they all wear masks. Yeah, they all
pirate mask.
Not
like
a pirate mask.
Well, like the pirate mask is like goes down.
Not
they have the
no,
X on
that's
it.
an eye patch. They all wear like masks that look like a fox or something like that. And so,
Dad, you know fox like to hunt rabbits.
Exactly. And so she's all weary and everything. She's like, "I'm not gonna eat because all the food is poisoned and tainted, and they'll control my mind and blah blah blah." But she ends up giving it in, and she's like, "Fine, I'll eat." And the guys, Tan Man and Lucian are like, "Nah, it's okay. The food's cool. You can eat it." So finally, she eats, and then she's still wary at first, but then she finally like breaks down a little bit, and she's like, "Okay, fine. Well, I'm gonna try to figure things out." So then she goes off. She's like, "I'm going to find this Lucian fella, and I'm going to try to get things out of him." So she finds him, and then Lucian's like, "Hey, you want to go on a hunt?" And she's like, "Yeah, I want to go on a hunt. Let's go for a hunt." So they go out into the woods, and then all of a sudden they get this, they're talking back and forth, blah, blah, blah. Some sort of a cold, creepy creature comes, and Lucian says, "Don't acknowledge it. When you acknowledge it, you make it real, and then it will eat you."
Wow, it did, and then they're dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They got dead.
Yeah, because what Tan Man and Lucian have said is that there is a curse on the land, and they said there's a blight which has made the magic of the fairy area. It's like
there's bad fairies.
Yeah, there are bad ones, but it's made the magic of the fairies.
Like from Minecraft, when like the leader of the pillagers, when it led the living like looks at like those blue things, they turn into the gray ones and add the swords and that.
Exactly, something like that. It's pretty much exactly like Minecraft. But anyways, there's like a magic curse going on, and it's making their magics not so well, and some of these bad creatures
it's very biotic.
And some of these bad creatures have like broken the veil, so to speak, and going into areas where they technically wouldn't be before because of the high faes and all their magic powers. So Lucian and Farah
are dead then.
They're not dead. They survived the thing. Lucian's like, "Hey, just so you know, Tan Man, Bog or Bogue or whatever it is was in the forest. So now Tan Man's been like on the prowl trying to find it to kill it. And then Farah was looking out the window trying to like see when Tan Man was gonna come back into town. And she says she sees her father. And she's like, oh, it's my daddy. I'm gonna follow him. He's coming to save me. And so she starts chasing after him. And then she like goes to the gate. And then old Tan Man shows up. And he's like, that's not your father. That is a puka. That's what they called it. A puka. A puka.
A puka? What's
A
a
puka.
puka? Tan Man's
A puka, it says that it uses your desires and your wants to lead you out into the... It's like a siren.
Oh, you mean like Siren Head?
Not Siren Head.
Yeah, so
like a siren. A siren. It lures you out.
Siren Head is like a person, but he has a head as a siren.
We know that. No, it lures you out.
Oh, do you mean it's like a siren? Like a danger
can I
siren?
talk? Can I finish talking?
Yes.
Okay. It lures you out, wants and needs, and then as it has you in the middle of nowhere, it eats you.
What? A siren?
Well, this puka thing, but it's like a siren.
Oh.
It's something that like
Do you mean like
draws you in with something, and then it'll get you.
And do you mean it puts a curse in your heart? Like from Elsa, where Elsa freezes her heart?
No, it doesn't freeze anything. But anyways, I think that's where I ended it.
Yeah, probably so.
Oh, and I guess I kind of slipped over the fact that the wolf thing that she shot and killed was a fairy thing after all, which is why she had to go back and live with him, because she broke the treaty. So that was like one of their friends or something, and Tan Man turned him into a wolf because he sent him out to try to find a cure for the curse, the sickness that was going throughout the Magic Land.
But there was a sickness?
Yeah.
What? Why? What was it, cancer?
Yeah, it's a cancer. A cancer on the Magic Lands. Update on the book. From yours truly,
Yes.
Lava Lincoln. And Papa Smurf.
Papa Smurf?
Yep, that's me.
It's me, you?
I am officially on
Chapter 31.
Chapter 31. I've been reading a good bit to try and stay interested.
Yeah.
Because that's my biggest thing about why I don't read all that much, is because I lose interest. So I've been trying to read to keep interested. Basically, what's going on was Tan Man.
Yes.
Tan Man ended... I think the last time we left off was the bogan cereal and things like that. But Tan Man got Farah some paint and things like that, and showed Farah the little like I don't know, like a gallery tapestry room sort of a thing where there's paintings and stuff. So she started painting and things like of that nature because she likes to paint. So she's now finally doing something for herself. Then fast forward, get to, I think they called it like Fire Night or something like that. And Tan Man and Lucian are like, don't come out here. Don't do it. But of course she doesn't listen. She goes out there. And then there was like, she like runs into like 3 guys that were up to no good. Then another dude comes up. I think his name was like Raisin
or something.
Raisin, whatever.
It was none of those. It was Resand. Better luck next time, bud.
He's not good at all. He is part of the Night Court. He's a jerk. Let's just say that. So then Lucian finds Farah at the Night Court. Or not Night Court, the fire. And he's like, what are you doing? He's going to smell you and come looking after you. He takes her back home. And then like in the middle of the night, she's like, I'm hungry. I'm going to go and get something to eat. And then she goes downstairs And then Tan Man's there, and he's like, I smelled you, and I looked for you, but you weren't there. But he wasn't himself. And then he goes up to her, and he bites her. And then she's like, ooh, I don't like that, but I also like that. Sort of a thing. Right, Lincoln?
What does that mean? A maybe?
Yeah,
She maybe likes that and maybe doesn't?
she was pretending like she didn't like it, but she actually really liked it.
Why?
I don't know, because she's weird. So then, like, the next morning, she's like, ooh, I'm gonna flaunt my... Let's just call it a hickey. I'm gonna flaunt my hickey. And she, like, goes out there and she's like, look at my hickey. Ooh. And then Tan Man and Lucien was, of course, being his sarcastic kind of
person.
butthole self, we'll say, and teasing. And then Tan Man was like, I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. Lucien and Tan Man take Farah to this one place, and they're like having a picnic or something like that. And then Tan Man goes, hey, come here, I want to show you something. And then they go down, and there's like this pool of something, and it's not water, and they call it starlight. So then they like go swimming in the starlight, and she's like, oh, it's so pretty, blah, blah, blah. Then Tan Man's like, hey, if you want, you can see things how I see them. And she's like, okay. So then...
Oh, are they then they're just friends forever?
Yeah, they're friends forever. And so then he's like, okay, here. And he like puts a glamour or something on her, and she starts hearing and seeing like beautiful noises and things that she wouldn't be able to normally hear as a human, and seeing more vibrant colors and just feeling more. All of her senses basically were super heightened. When she wakes up the next morning, she finds out, because like all the servants and stuff are like walking around. She's like, wait a minute, where's I think it's Eyeless or something. She's like, I am Eyeless. And then she kind of figures out, because she starts seeing all these other servants, like hundreds and hundreds more than she used to see. She realized that Tan Man had put a glamour up when she first got there, so she was only seeing certain things and certain people rather than everything. And then after her thing wore off, she was actually seeing things like for real for the first time. And then what was the other thing?
The steamy part?
No. We haven't got to the steamy part yet.
Yeah, we have.
No, not yet. Well, kind of. There has been a lot of, we'll say tension since Lava Lincoln is here. There's been a lot of tension in a specific way between Farah and Tan Man. Anyways, start to kind of learn as well more about,
Yes.
like we learn more about Lucien, like he found a girl that Lucien was from the night court. He was from a court up farther north than the spring court. And he like fell in love with a girl who was not of any noble birth or anything like that. And then his dad and brothers were like, you can't do that. And so his dad had her killed in front of him. So then Lucien's like, well, I'm taking off. And then
Why did his dad kill her?
Because, yeah, his dad was not a nice guy.
Why?
Because he just wasn't.
He wanted to kill everybody in his family?
No. But then Lucien took off, and then his brothers came after him. I think, if I remember correctly, Tan Man helped Lucien, and I think like one or two of their brothers got killed. And then kind of Tan Man, his dad was of like something, and Tan Man ended up like joining the War Bond Party and stuff like that, and learned a bunch of things. But then, and he never really wanted to take over the court or anything like that, but I guess like family members died and things, and so he had to take over the court. So that's why he's the High Lord of the Spring Court, even though he doesn't technically want to be. But the reason that he is more forgiving and gave Farah the option instead of just killing her was because all he really has known before was killing, and he doesn't necessarily like it. Plus, he never wanted to be like the other Fae who kept humans as slaves and killed them and tortured them and stuff. He just wasn't about that. He didn't want to do that. Basically, there was another party sort of a thing that Farah was allowed to go to, and Farah,
okay.
yeah, and so they went to that, and they had a little shindig, cut a rug, had a grand. Oh yeah, because she got super wasted on fairy wine. And she was dancing around like crazy.
You like this. My soul.
Here, do it again. Pretty much exactly like that. That was actually word for word translation in dance and song that happened in the book. So Farah was to go paint something. They found a Fae's head like on a statue, and so they like got it off, and Tan Man and Lucien were like, it's a message, like someone's sending a message. Well, then like the next day the Ricin guy comes in, and Tan Man's like hide Farah, so he like hides Farah behind him, and like so, but they're like talking and stuff like that. Well, the guy ends up finding out that Farah is there, and he's like, oh, who is this? And he's like, should I tell her about this? And they're like, who? And then he's apparently, I guess we could say,
by chaotic.
Some lady in the Night Court. I think it was like Anna Marath, or
no, by chaotic.
Yeah, Anna Marath or something.
You are really killing me with these name mispronunciations. Amarantha. Okie dokie.
Then they say something about under a mountain, which I'm sure is going to lead into more something.
More of interesting.
Exactly, more interesting development.
Development.
And they say that basically this Ricin guy is like her
enemy.
No, it's like her, let's just say, since there's children in the room, her friend with benefit. And so then he like taps into her mind and everything, and he's like, oh, she's got a thing for you, Tan Man. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And then he also knows that Tan Man's got a thing for her. And then so Tan Man's like, don't tell her she's here. And he's like, well, I don't know. And he's like, please don't tell her. And he's like, you're gonna have to beg. So he makes Tan Man and Lucien like get down on their hands and knees and beg. But Tan Man doesn't, and then he finally leaves. And then Tan Man doesn't believe him. She's like, I'm sorry, Farah, but you're gonna have to leave. And he goes into her room. Well, she's like, I can't leave. I don't want to leave. Just when everything got started good and blah blah blah. And then things progress. And let's just say...
Why? He trusted the bad guy?
No, he didn't trust. Let's just say the tension was finally released. The deed was done. 2 times. Anyways. The morning, they took off. Tan Man tells Farah that he loves her. He says he loves her twice. And then she rides off, and then she gets home, and she finds that there's like a huge house mansion that her dad and her 2 sisters and stuff are living in now, and he's like, oh, so Tan Man really took care of my family while they were gone. And Tan Man also gave her like a bunch of jewels and stuff like that, so they'd never have to worry again and all that stuff. But the one sister, Elaine and Nesta? Yeah, Nesta. She's like the more hard-headed one of the group, and Elaine's the more cheerful. Everyone loves her. She's like finally there's like tension between Nesta and Farah because Nesta is blah blah blah, and then she's like, Nesta finally is like, I know that there is no aunt blah blah blah. She's like, how? She's like, the monster's glamour didn't work on me. Because she was too strong. Her mind was too strong for the glamour to work on her. And so she's like, I hired that mercenary that you sold the pelt to, and I tracked you, and I got to the wall, but I couldn't find a way in. And she's like, so I had to like sit here while the dad and Elaine had no recollection of it, and I did, and blah blah blah. And that's basically...
means Steven.
Not Steven. That's basically where I'm at so far. Is she just kind of said, I know what happened, and I know where you went. And then Farah basically
says whatever.
Yeah, and Farah basically told Nesta like everything that happened and where she had been and all that kind of good stuff, and that's where we are at so far.
And let's go play
I only have
Bookie 2 board game.
Yep, I only have like 15 chapters left, so hopefully I'll be able to finish up and then give you my final thoughts.
And so do you feel like you're going to DNF it?
Yeah, when I get to the very last chapter, I'm DNFing it.
No, you have
just to leave a cliffhanger.
No, if the last clip is chapter is really bad, then we're gonna DNF it.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, booktubers.
Bye, booktubers. But let's see. I can't remember where we left off last. I think where we left off last was...
Where the steamy part.
There was no steamy part when I left off last. Basically...
It was actually 27. The chapter's 27.
It wasn't 27. Basically, the thing... Lincoln. Stop doing that. But also kind of... No, by Lucian and the other guy.
Oh, what's that?
My neck.
But no, what's that? There's like a red dot or something.
I don't know. Maybe I cut myself when I was shaving. Can you say something, Godzilla? Open your mouth. Oh, really? And what else did you have to say? That's a very interesting input. Anything else? Really? And what do you think about the stock market currently? Yeah, I would have to say the same thing. So that was really great. Oh, it was you the whole time. So the book has been completed. I actually finished it a while ago, and I'm just now doing the update. So when we left off last was
are you gonna give it how many stars?
I will let you know at the very end.
And are you gonna DNF?
Well, I already finished reading it, so I can't DNF it.
Why? Yes, you can.
Well, if I well, no, I can't because I read it all. Anyways, when Tan Man sent her off back home, her sister was saying, you know, my mind was too sharp, as a thing didn't work on me, and so I knew everything that was going on. I knew that you were at your aunt's house and blah 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 and all that kind of stuff. They eventually get to talking blah blah blah, and then there's a part where Rainy. What's the guy's name? Rycian? Rhysand. So when Rhysand found out Farah was there, Farah gave her a fake name. Or Farah gave him a fake name, and it was a girl within their community. And so Farah found out something, that there was a fire and blah blah blah, and I think her name was like Claire or something, went missing, and everybody else died. And she's like, oh no, I'm in trouble, and so is Tan Man. I must save him. All of her family and stuff are like, yes, go, you can do it, go. And so she goes through the forest and everything, she ends up finding the wall, and finally she ends up finding her way back into, and she gets into Tan Man's estate. Well, it's empty. There's no one there. The gate's open, the doors are open, blah, blah, blah.
If he says blah, blah, blah one more time, I'm going to combust. I just can't. Let's proceed.
There's like blood, and looks like crazy things have happened, blah, 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 blah.
You're literally joking me. You're literally joking me. How many times is he going to say it? Let's count together, shall we?
And then...
He's dead?
No, he's not dead. Then, little butler lady, I can't remember her name, is there, and she's like, oh, they took him, and blah, 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 and she's just like, and Farrah's like, take me to the mountain. Lead me to the mountain. And she's like, it's crazy, you can't do anything for him there. She's like, take me now. So she's like, fine. So they get gear and all this kind of stuff and blah, blah, blah. She gets to the mountain. She goes in there. Before she goes in there, she says, don't drink the wine. The butler lady, I can't remember her name. Rainy will insert name here. Don't drink the wine. She says, don't trust anybody and like don't believe anybody. And then there's a third thing that she needs to know about, but she can't tell her about. So she goes under there, and then she runs into, I don't know, can't remember his name either. I'm just going to call him the Rancor. Just because. He's a wing-a-ding thing, and he's the one thing that Ant-Man and Lucian were talking to in their garden. Huh?
Hispanic?
Hispanic?
Hispanic. I mean, like Spanish. I mean, college.
Oh, is the guy Hispanic, the bad guy?
Yeah.
Sure, why not? He can be Hispanic, yeah. He's a Hispanic and a Hispanic Rancor.
No, let's actually say Hispanic villain.
He's the Hispanic villain that is the right-hand man of... What's the lady's name? Amarantha? Amarantha. What's the bad guy's name?
What?
What's the other creepy wing-a-ding dude's name?
Creepy wing-a-ding Tamlin?
No! It's like... Not Rhysand, but it's a... No, not no. It's one of Amarantha's fellas. Here, maybe I can just look in the book. It's not Gollum. Oh, the Adder. No, the Adder. Okay, that's what the Adder. The Adder finds her in the caves and actually ends up taking her, Farrah, to see Amarantha. And when she gets there, Farrah sees that Tan Man is like by her. Yeah, but he's like stone cold. Like no emotions or anything like that.
Why? He turned into stone?
No, he didn't turn into stone.
Then why was he had no emotions?
And she's like, oh, why doesn't he notice me? Blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And Amarantha, ends up, well, before that, she's like cursed Tan Man because the only way that he could do was to make him fall in love with a woman, and Farrah's like, I do love him. She's like, you can't love him, blah, blah, you don't know. And Farrah ends up finding the mangled corpse of the girl that she gave the false name to. And so then she feels bad because of that. Amarantha's like, okay, fine, well, I'll make a deal with you. She's like, I'll give you 3 tasks. If you can complete these 3 tasks, then I will set him free. Or you can answer this riddle at any point. If you answer this riddle correctly, I'll also free him. But there's kind of like a twist on like what she said with the tasks versus what she said with the riddle. He's like, but while you're waiting for these tasks, they'll be on the first full moon of each month or something. You're gonna have to do housekeeping and stuff like that, and you'll be living in a cell and blah blah blah. So she's like, fine. She gets thrown in a cell and she stays there. Lucien comes and talks to her, and she's like, oh, Lucien, hey. And he's like, what are you doing here, you dumb girl? And he's like, oh well, cool, you can save him, I guess. So then first task comes, and gets brought into this place, and she gets lowered down into this pit.
Of lava?
No, it's like a mud pit. And all of a sudden there's a big...
Do you mean a pit of quicksand?
No, it's mud. It's muddy and stuff, and it's like a maze. And then she realizes that big worm chasing after her that chases her, and she runs.
What worm is it called?
I don't know. It's just a worm.
Oh, I think it's called a mutant worm.
It's a mutant worm. The worm chases her and stuff. She ends up squeezing through and she's kind of escaping and stuff, but she ends up finding out that the worm is blind, so it only can like smell her or something like that. So she like rubs mud all over her to like mask her smell, even though it smells like atrocious and everything. And she puts a bunch of like shards of bones and stuff in like stuck in the mud, and she goes back and makes the worm chase her, and she eventually like dives, but she dives and she like rips her arm or her leg or something like that really bad, but she kills the worm. So they're like, okay, fine, and they throw her back in the cell. She thinks that she's going to like die and everything. Before the task, before she got thrown into their cell and stuff, she got beat up. Lucien came into the cell, fixed her for that. After the first thing, and she like broke her arm or something, or leg, but she got wounded really bad and she started having fever and everything. Rysand came in and said, look, I'll fix you, but you're gonna have to make a deal. You have to come and stay with me.
Does he?
You have to stay with me
and does
for
she end up
like,
and does that guy trick her and just kills her?
he's like, you have to come live with me for like a week or like a month out of the year or something like that. And then she's like, I'll stay with... So she ends up bargaining and is like, I'll stay with you for 1 week each month or something like that. And so he's like, deal. And he fixes her, and he like she gets like a tattoo or something like that to show the deal that they made. Second task she has to do, she has to start cleaning this room and stuff. And then there was like pieces of corn or something like that in a fireplace. And also she had to clean a room or something like that, but they only gave her like filthy water. And there was time earlier where she saved Lucien's life. So Lucien's mom came in and was like, thanks for saving his life. And she like used her magic, cleaned the water. So she had clean water to do. She cleaned the water, and then she was cleaning the room and she was trying to get all this stuff done. And she's like, if you don't get it cleaned back by then you're gonna die and everything like that, blah, blah, blah. She comes in, well, it's Rysand's room that she was cleaning and working on. So Rysand's like, you're gonna do some things for me and blah, blah, blah. And so he like snaps his fingers and everything's done. And then he tells the guard, he's like, she completed her task. She did everything. It's fine. So, but then like later that day or night or whatever before the last task was coming, Rysand had her painted with like colors and dressed in very...
Ugly colors?
No, he had her dressed in very revealing clothing, I guess. And then he made her drink the wine, and then she was dancing and doing inappropriately and thing like that. And he put...
Why? Why did he put in the wine?
Because she had some sort of magic wine or something that she was drinking that made her do things. And he put the paint on her so that you could see if someone had touched her or something like that. And he made Tamlin like watch all this stuff, and then blah, blah, blah. And then one night before she drank the wine and everything like that, Amlin and them snuck off and started getting a little busy until Ryson came in there and Marantha came in there and Ryson kind of like stuck up for him and like so that Tan Man didn't get in trouble. And then she's like, okay, fine, it's your final task. And so her last task, she brought out 3 hooded figures and 3 ash wood daggers. And she said, your final task is you have to stab each of these 3 in the heart and kill them. Once you've killed all 3 of them, Tan Man will be free. So she's like reluctant and everything like that, obviously at first, but they pulled on the first one, and it's like a young, she said like a young handsome dude, but she ends up stabbing him and killing him. Then the next one, pull it, and it's like a young girl, and obviously she's reluctant to that too, but she ends up going, you know what, kills him anyways. They get to the third one, pulls the hood off, it's Tan Man. And she's like, that's not fair, blah, blah, blah. She said, he'll be free, but you didn't I didn't specify how he'd be free. She's like, I can't do it, I'm not going to do it. She's like, I could kill him, and then everybody else will be free, but he'll be dead. Or I cannot do it, and I will die. So she's like running it, and then she's like, but the butler lady, she told me something and blah blah blah, and then she started thinking, and there was like a time when Ryson said, for a guy whose heart is made of stone, blah blah blah, and then there was another thing, just like your heart, they said something about your heart's made of stone, blah blah blah, and she goes, his heart is made out of stone. Can't pierce his heart because it's made out of stone. So she stabs him with the ash, but he doesn't die because his heart is actually made out of stone. And everyone's like, she did it, she completed the tasks, she completed the trials, she'll go free. Well, Amarantha's like, ha, I don't think so. And so then she starts beating her up and torturing her and stuff like that, and like bending and breaking her bones and things like that. All the while, Tan Man can't really do anything because his powers have been ripped away and all this stuff. And while she's doing that, Rysan tries to save Farah and everything, but Amarantha doesn't let him and throws him away and aside and everything. And then, like, in her dying breath, Farah is contemplating the riddle. And finally, in the end of the riddle, she finds out and she says love. The answer is love. And when she answers the riddle, the curse is finally broken. Tan Man gets all of his powers back, and all of the masks that Lucien and Tan Man and all of his people go away. And Tan Man basically, without any like issue, just destroys Amarantha and kills her. So the day is saved, and then, but Farah is pretty much dead. It's kind of like an out-of-body experience, like she's watching things, but it's as her like spirit, and she kind of see her physical body dead and everything. So each of the like high fairies like come up as Tan Man is holding her, and they each like give her a gift, like it's like a glimmering thing, and they give her, and as each one of them gives them, she ends up coming back to her body. But when she comes back to her body, she can hear and see and all those things so much better and everything, and smell and all this stuff. Well, turns out they gave her a special gift, and she herself has now become a high fae. So she's brought back to life and everything like that. She does still have this weekly thing a month she has to do with Ryson in the Night Court. So I don't know how that's going to go. I guess that's what the next book will be about. Then they finally go back to the Spring Court, and as they get there, the butler lady is there, and she has her 2 little nephews. And then Farah's like, let's go home. And the end.
Okay, I have questions. 1. Oh, I'm sitting here? Oh, okay. Okay, hello. Okay, question. 1. Did you know the riddle?
Oh, did I figure out the riddle
Did you
before?
figure out the riddle before?
No, I didn't pay that much attention to it.
Okay.
I knew that the riddle was going to be the thing that saved. Like, I knew it wasn't the tasks themselves, even though she did necessarily technically complete all the tasks. Well, even though she technically completed all the tasks, I knew it was the riddle.
Okay.
Did you know the riddle before it?
No, absolutely not. I'm not good at solving riddles. Okay, next question. What is your final rating?
I would say my rating.
You have 2 scales. Two. 1 out of 5, and then 1 out of 5 in peppers in spice.
Oh, like spiciness?
Yes. Like.
Okay, the spiciness was really only like a 2.
Okay, I agree.
It wasn't really. I mean, there were some spicy parts, but they were only like a page or half a page.
Okay.
It wasn't like long drawn out.
But were they descriptive?
Kind of.
Well, it's considered YA, if you could believe that.
Oh, young adult?
Yeah, it's not actually. Okay, well, outside of peppers, what was your rating?
I would say, since I don't really read, it kept me interested enough that I would probably say a solid 3.5 to a 4.
So a 3.75, maybe.
3.75 to a 4.
Interesting.
Because
Interesting. Okay. Would you read the next one? Because here it is. It is 624 pages.
I mean, maybe in another lifetime.
Okay, so you'll be reading it next month. Okay, cool. Anyway,
Yes, that's my
what
next life cycle.
What do you think about this being your first book you've read ever? I'm kidding, but at least in the 12 or so years I've known you.
I don't really care so much about the spicy parts.
Well, duh.
Because they don't really do anything for me.
Okay.
They may be a little titillating for some.
I hate that word. I hate when you use that word. I hate it. Okay, anyway.
For some people, but not for me, really.
I'm not saying these were titillating for me. These aren't the best steamy scenes I've ever read.
I'm not saying that they are the best steamy scenes you've ever read.
You wouldn't know anyway.
I wouldn't know. I don't really read a book because I'm like, ooh, let me see which sort of juicy secrets they get into.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay,
but overall, your experience was delightful.
I don't know if I would say delightful.
A fun time.
It was an alright time.
You were reading it at work. Did he tell you that? He finished it at work.
Yes, because I was trying. Okay.
I told you only had to read a chapter a day, and you read it in like 5.
Rainey said I had to read a chapter a day. The reason I read more is because I know myself and I will lose interest.
And because he liked it. And Lincoln stopped. Okay, guys.
I will lose interest.
Okay,
and
okay,
if I
okay.
don't, while it has somewhat of a grasp and I have somewhat interest, it's better that I just go ahead and just finish it while I am interested. Because otherwise, I'll lose interest and then I'll never finish it.
Well, you heard it first, guys. He finished ACOTAR. You're welcome for his dramatic explanation of the story. If you got to the end of this, let's put a rose emoji or flower, for A Court of Thorns and Roses. And thank you to my wonderful patrons who support me every step of the way. If you're ever interested in joining us, you can find all the information in the description underneath this video. And with that, my friends, we will see you in a video very soon.
I think I should make you read one of my books that I like.
Bye.
Eloise is up.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Ah!
I love you, Tata. You're so cool.
Love you too. Where we left off.
I'm sorry.
Your mom's gonna have a lot of editing to do. It's the Lava Lincoln Show.
It's the daddy long legs
It's the
show.
daddy. It's the Daddy Lincoln Show.
No, it is not. It's the daddy. It's the daddy long leg show.
One day, Daddy Longleg met a boy named Lava Lincoln. And then one day, that Lincoln and the Daddy Longleg read a book. And then there was a crazy lady, her name was Rain. She made them read a book, and it was such a pain. Rainy Lincoln, throw down your lava. Rainy Lava Lincoln, throw down all your lava.
I don't have to throw down my lava. I did my.
You know, you have to do it like Squidward and SpongeBob. He goes, Krakatoa!
Krakatoa!
Krakatoa? No. Krakatoa.
Krakatoa!
Yeah.
Krakatoa!
Not Krakatoa, Lincoln. Krakatoa.
Krakatoa.
Why'd you burp in the middle of that?
I have hiccups.
You know what we should do, Lincoln? I have a super fantastic idea.
What? Dad, I have earwax.
Oh.
I mean, not earwax. I got earwax.
You have earwax and the hiccups? Why don't we have
beeswax?
Oh, you have beeswax. Okay. Why don't we make videos?
Of what?
Why don't you know how Mommy has her booktube channel?
Yeah.
Why don't we make one for kids where we read kids books and then we rate the kids books?
Yeah! That's a great idea. Let's start this.
Let's do it.
Yep. So okay. Let's get started.
Let's do it. Say bye.
Bye.